all the work over the years, 40 years, of providing jobs to all of you young folks, right? My first job was with ABCD at my church camp, St. Paul's Camp. I used to attend the camp until I was 14 years old. They asked me to be a youth counselor, and it was quite an experience. It's something I've never forgotten. I want to thank you young people for making the commitment and accepting this job and working day in and day out, being on time, being cordial to your colleagues, and really understanding what it means to have your first job. So congratulations to you, because out of the 1,500 folks who got the job this year, we know there were 1,500 others that did not. And so we are working hard on the state level, working with city, working with federal to make sure that we preserve jobs that are critical, jobs for youth in our communities. I want to recognize and thank Ray here on behalf of Representative Russell Holmes. We work well together. He also represents parts of Mattapan. Councilor Charles Yancey and the team in the Boston City Council have been fabulous. I see Walter Applewhite, who's the Mattapan liaison for the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. So all of us work together for the betterment of Mattapan. And so I'm just happy to be here with you. I'm here with my son, John, who's 7. Is here with me. And it's just great to see this, the positive things that are happening. A lot of great things happen in our community. And I'm happy, Millie said this though, Millie said it, and I'm happy you did, that the correlation between having a job and picking up a gun is not the same thing. And so we need to change that conversation. Because on the State House, right, we hear this all the time, where we'll have youth come in and everyone will come in, and one of the things people will say, well, if we don't have a job, we're going to pick up a gun. Well, no, that's not true. If you don't have a job, we're going to work with you to make you better. You don't have to pick up a gun. And so it's making sure that when people are talking about jobs and opportunities for our youth, that they don't automatically have the perception that our youth of color, if you don't have a job, you're going to pick up a gun to do something bad. And so I thank you for keeping up, you know, and showing people what the young people are about here in our city. And I thank you for your commitment, and I thank all of you for all your hard work. God bless.
Thank you so much. I have to get used to calling her State Rep Linda.
Okay, Linda's fine.
She was, her brother and I were in the same class, and he was the college student body president. She was his little sister, so we could work kind of taking care of her. And now she's taking care of us. I also want to bring up now Councilor Charles Yancey. I have not had a chance to work with him in the past. I'm looking forward to working with you here. I've seen tons and tons of years of pictures of you doing tons of things here at Mattapan, so that I know that we can count on you moving forward, and I look forward to having a relationship with you as well, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause for our new executive director. Thank you. I actually think everything that needs to be said has already been said, even though everyone hasn't said it. But I just wanted to recognize the tremendous accomplishments that we're celebrating today. Let's give the young people another round of applause. It really is all about you. I want to thank Myrtle Huggins and Dr. Annie Wilcox. You have your PhD now, don't you? Not yet? Well, she will very shortly. Give her a round of applause. And I'm particularly gratified that we are recognizing the sacrifices of our police officers. They risk their lives every day without complaint most of the time. Most of the time without complaint. And they sacrifice a great deal. So it's very, very important for us to say thank you to our police officers as well. Now, I just want to emphasize some of the points that have already been made. First job is very important. I remember my first job. It was working at the Katz Pharmacy on the corner of Blue Hill Avenue and Quincy Street. It's now a vacant lot, soon to be a housing development. But that's where I grew up. And having a job teaches you a sense of responsibility, and it furthers your growth as a leader. And I'm just asking young people not to underestimate the importance of that experience. But I also am here in part because of the sacrifices made by my parents. Now, I'm one of 9 children. I was number 6. So by the time I came along, my folks were worn out. So I had pretty much leeway. I could do whatever I wanted to do. But with that freedom comes responsibility. That's another thing you learn in working. But I have to mention Alice White Yancey. There's a room in the new Mattapan Branch Library named after her. She's my mother. She and my dad raised, as I mentioned, 9 children. But she was also a founding member of ABCD. And she worked very closely with Robert Cord. And both of them struggled to establish this agency. It's supposed to be Boston's anti-poverty agency. And they worked hard and they worked very successfully. So my plea to the young people, and those of us who may not be that young any longer, so don't forget those who came before us, who made the sacrifices. This building used to be a supermarket. Rico Supermarket, I believe it was called. But it was Lillian Searcy and others, and Father Swinsfire from the Church of the Holy Spirit, who worked very hard to develop this as an institution in our community. And it's been very, very successful, because out of this family service center grew the Mattapan CDC. Those initial meetings were held right here, actually in this room. The new Main Streets program was an initiative of this agency, and so many other things, including the SummerWorks program that we're celebrating today. So Lillian Searcy, even though she's not here, she gave us a couple of decades, maybe a little longer, of very dedicated service, a labor of love for this community. So let me close by saying that there's a lot of work we have to do to ensure that we keep building the infrastructure in Mattapan. We have 2 new community centers, Gallivan and Mildred Avenue, all you know about. You know about the police station, you know about the new library, you know about the improvements coming along the Fairmont line, where we're establishing yet another stop in Mattapan to service people, so it'll be easier to walk downtown or recreate and do other things. But I need all of you to remember that Mattapan has never had a high school, and it has more than 1,400 young people who go to the Boston public high schools. We need to ensure that we build a state-of-the-art high school, not necessarily for these young people, because many have already will be out of high school by the time we build it, but for the next generation, because they deserve the best. They're competing with children who are going to state-of-the-art facilities all around Massachusetts and the country. We need one right here on the grounds of the Boston State Hospital. So, let me congratulate all of you for the great work that you've done. Let's continue to work together to bring Mattapan to the next level. Thank you very much.